My mommy says I'm a miracle.
My daddy says I'm a special little guy.
I am a princess.
And I am a prince.
Mom says I'm an angel sent down from the sky.
My daddy says I'm a special little soldier. No one is as handsome, strong as me.
It's true, he indulges my tendencies of balls.
So I'm his little soldier. 1, 2, 4, 3. My mommy says I'm a miracle. Look at my face and it's plain to see.
Ever since the day Doc chopped the umbilical cord, it's been clear there's no peer for a miracle like me.
My daddy says I'm a special little soldier. No one is as bold or tough as me. As my daddy told ya, one day when I'm older, I can be a soldier.
And shoot you in the face.
One can hardly move for beauty and brilliance these days. It seems that there are millions of these, 1 in a million these days. Specialness is derriere, above average is average, go figure. Is it some modern miracle of calculus that such frequent miracles don't render each one a miraculous?
My mommy says I'm a precious ballerina. She has never seen a pretty ballerina. She says if I'm keen I have to cut down on the cream. But I'm a ballerina, so give me more cake.
My mommy says I'm a miracle. When they catch my face and it's plain to see. Ever since the day Doc chopped the umbilical cord, it's been clear there's no peer for a miracle like me. My mommy says I'm a miracle. I'm a tiny and it's tiny as a miracle. We can see all city, but I'm in a toy miracle. I'm a miracle, that's miraculous.
My mummy says I'm a lousy little worm. My daddy says I'm a bore. My mummy says I'm a jumped up little germ, that kids like me should be against the law.
My daddy says I should learn to shop my pie hole. No one likes a smart mouth girl like me. Mum says I'm a good case for population control. Dad says I should watch more TV.
Oh, get out of it! Oh, yes, sir. Oh, that's right, sir. 155 brand new luxury cars. Are they good runners? Oh, let's just put it this way. You wouldn't beat them in a race. Oh, no, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Well, they are good runners, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, indeed, sir. So, how much exactly are we talking about?
Harry!
Hang on.
Look at this. She's reading a book. That's not normal for a 5-year-old. I think she might be an idiot.
Listen to this. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom.
Stop scaring your mother with that book, boy.
I'm a girl.
And she keeps trying to tell me stories, Harry. Stories. Who wants stories? I mean, it's just not normal for a girl to be all thinking.
I'm gonna call you straight back. I'm trying to pull off the biggest business deal of my life, and I have to listen to this. It's your fault. You spend us into trouble and you expect me to get us out. What am I, a flaming escapologist?
What about me then? I've got a whole house to look after. Dinners don't microwave themselves, you know. I'm off to bleach my roots, and I shan't be talking to you for the rest of the evening, you horrid little man.
But I'm going to make us rich.
Rich? How rich?
Oh, very rich. Russian businessmen, very, very stupid. Your genius husband is going to sell them 155 knackled old bangers as brand new luxury cars.
But that's not fair. The cars will break down.
Fair. Listen to the boy.
I'm a girl.
Fair does not get you anywhere, you thick-headed twitch brain. All I can say is thank heavens Michael has inherited his old man's brains. Son?
Michael.
Well, I shall take your money when you earn it, and I shall spend it. But I shan't enjoy it because of the despicable way in which you have spoken to me tonight.
Stupid reading.
What? But I didn't do anything. That's not right.
Right. Right. I'll tell you something. You're off to school in a few days' time, and you won't be getting right there. I know. See, I know your headmistress, Agatha Trunchbull, and I've told her all about you and your smarty pants ideas. Great, big, strong, scary woman she is. Used to compete in the Olympics, throwing the hammer. Imagine what she's going to do to a horrible, squeaky little goblin like you, boy.
I'm a girl.
Now off to bed, you little bookworm.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. So they say the subsequent fall was inevitable. They never stood a chance, they were written that way. Innocent victims of their story. Like Romeo and Juliet, 'twas written in the stars before they even met. That love and fate and a touch of stupidity would rob them of the hope of living happily. The endings are often a little bit gory. I wonder why they didn't just change their story. We're told we have to do what we are told, but surely sometimes you have to be a little bit naughty. Just because you find that life's not fair, it doesn't mean that you just have to grin and bear it. You can always take it on the chin and sweat. Nothing will change. Even if you're little, you can do a lot to you. Mustn't let some little things like needles stop you. Even if you sit down with the breath and get on the top of you. Might sound the same. You think that it's okay, and that's not right. And if it's not right, you have to put it right. Platinum blonde hair dye, extra strong. Keep out of reach of children. Oil of violets hair tonic for men. Yup. In the slip of a boat, there's a tiny rowboat. The seeds of a war in a creek of a floorboard. A storm can begin with a flap of a wing. The tiniest mite packs the mightiest sting every day. Starts with the tick of a clock, all escapes. Starts with the click of a knob. You're stuck in your story and want to get out. You don't have to cry, you don't have to shout. 'Cause if you're little, you can do a lot. You must let a little thing like this will stop you. If you sit around and let them get on top of you, won't say something. Just because you find that life's not fair, it don't mean that you just have to grin and bear it. If you always take it on the chin and wait, you might start saying you think that it's okay, and that's not right. And if it's not right, you have to put it right. But nobody else is gonna put it right for me. Nobody but me is gonna change my story. Sometimes you have to be a little bit naughty.
Matilda, what a pleasure to see you. Here in the library again, are we?
Yes, I mean, my mum wanted me to stay at home with her. She hates it when I go out. She misses me so much. Dad too. He loves having me around.
Your parents must be so proud to have a girl as clever as you. And do you tell them stories like you do with me? Oh, I love your stories, Matilda.
Goodbye, Miss Phelps. See you next week.
Goodbye, Miss Honey, and good luck with the Tolstoy.
Who was that?
That lady, that was Miss Honey. She's going to be your teacher.
That lady is my...
Yes, your teacher. Now look, are you going to tell me a story or not?
Once upon a time, the two greatest circus performers in the world. An escapologist who could escape from any lock that was ever invented, and an acrobat who was so skilled it seemed as if she could actually fly, fell in love and got married. Although they loved each other, although they were famous and everyone loved them, they were sad. We have everything, but the one thing, we do not have a child.
Oh, Matilda.
The time is one thing no one is master of, and as time passed, they grew quite old, and still they had no child.
Oh, Matilda, this is very sad.
Do you want me to stop?
Don't you dare.
Their sadness overwhelmed them and drew them into even more dangerous feats. As their work became the only place they could escape the inescapable tragedy of their lives. It's their destiny, said the wife, smiling sadly, slipping her hand into his. This is where the loneliness of life has led us.
Well, what happens?
I don't know. Not yet.
What?
Anyway.
But isn't there some more?
Bye, Mrs. Phelps. See you tomorrow.
After your first day of school.
And so you think you're able to survive this mess by being a prince or a princess. You will soon see there's no escaping tragedy. And even if you put in heaps of effort, you're just wasting energy. 'Cause your life as you know it is ancient history. I have suffered in this jail. I've been trapped inside this cage for ages, this living hell. But if I try, I can remember that before my life had ended, before my happy days were over, before I first heard the pealing of the bell. Like you, I was curious, so innocent I asked 1,000 questions. But unless you want to suffer, listen up and I will teach you a thing or two. You listen here, my dear, you'll be punished so severely if you step out of line, and if you cry, it will be double. You should stay out of trouble and remember to be extremely careful.
Why?
Why?
Why? Did you hear what we said?
Just you wait for me dead.
Good morning, children. My name is Miss Honey, and today is a very special day. Your first day of school. Now, can any of you do your 2 times tables? Wonderful. Matilda, isn't it? Please do as much as you can.
1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8, 5 times 2 is 10, 6 times 2 is 12, 7 times 2 is 14, 8 times 2 is 16, 9 times 2 is 18, 10 times 2 is 20, 11 times 2 is 22, 12 times 2 is 24,
Oh, my word.
13 times 2 is 26, 14 times 2 is 28, 15 times...
Oh, good heavens, how far can you go?
I don't know. Quite a long way, I think.
How about this? Now, this is much harder, so don't worry if you don't get it. 2 times 487.
974.
No way!
Let's leave maths for the time being and look at reading. Now, can any of you read this?
Me, miss, I can. Me.
Very well. Alice? Okay, yes, I think we better leave it there. Alice? Lavender?
Is the first word tomato?
No, but the tomato is a very good word.
Yes!
Matilda?
I can now read words.
So, Matilda, you can read words.
Well, yes. I needed to learn to read words so that I could read sentences, because basically a sentence is just a big bunch of words. And if you can't read sentences, you've got no chance with books.
And have you read a whole book? Yourself, Matilda?
Oh, yes, I love books. Last week I read quite a few.
A few? In a week? My, that is good. What books did you read?
Nicholas Nickleby, Oliver Twist, Jane Eyre, Tess of the Dubervilles, The Lord of the Rings, Kim, The Invisible Man, The Secret Garden, Crime and Punishment, and The Cat in the Hat.
Matilda, can I ask you a question? Do all those brains in your head give you a headache? I mean, it's got a head. It's all squishy in there. No, it's fine. I think they just fit. Right. Well, I'd better hang around just in case they start to squeeze out of your ears. You're going to need help. I'm Lavender. I think it's probably for the best if we're best friends.
Hide me! Someone poured a whole can of syrup into the Trunchbull's chat. Someone told her I did it, but I'd never. And now she's after me.
Oh, you're done, kid. You're finished.
Once Agatha Trunchbull decides you're guilty, you are.
She's going to put me in the chokey.
Oh no, she's coming.
Where is the maggot known as Nigel?
He's over there, under those coats. Where he's been for the last hour, actually.
What? An hour?
Oh, yes. You see, unfortunately, Nigel suffers from the rare but chronic sleep disorder, narcolepsy. You see, he fell asleep and we put him under the coats for safety. Didn't we? Didn't we? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
Narcolepsy?
He'll probably think he's in bed when he wakes up.
Is it time for school yet, Mum? Hello? What am I doing here? But this isn't my room at all. Oh, hello, Miss Trunchbull.
Amanda Three.
Yes, Miss Trunchbull?
What have I told you about your pigtails? I hate pigtails.
But my mommy likes them. She says they make me look pretty.
Then your mummy is a twit.
Here she comes.
You! What is your name?
Matilda. Matilda Wormwood.
Oh, Wormwood, aren't you? Well then, Matilda Wormwood, you just made a very big mistake.
Just so you all know, she's my best friend.
Matilda, could I speak to you for a moment, please? I'm afraid I haven't been too successful getting others to recognize your abilities, so starting tomorrow I shall bring in a selection of very clever books that I think will challenge your mind, and you may sit and read them while I teach the others, and, well, if you have any questions, I shall do my best to answer them. How does that sound?
Matilda Wormwood! Matilda Wormwood!
Yes, Miss Trunchbull?
So you admit it, do you?
Admit what, Miss Trunchbull?
This morning you sneaked like a serpent into my kitchen and stole a slice of my private chocolate cake from my tea tray.
Miss Trunchbull, Matilda's been here all morning.
Standing up for the spitball, are you? Well, this crime took place before school. Therefore, she is guilty.
Okay, fine. Look, all right, I stole the cake. And honestly, I was really, definitely, sort of, almost thinking about owning up. Maybe. There was just one problem. I was having a lot of trouble with my belly. You see, the Trunchbull's cake was so good that I scoffed it down too quick, and now it was beginning to fight back. Whoops. See?
I'm not guilty. I didn't do anything.
You are guilty because you are a thief. You are a crook. You are a thief. And I shall crush you. I shall pound you. And I shall consign you to the seventh circle of hellfire. You shall be destroyed.
It was the biggest burp I had ever done.
It was the biggest burp I had ever heard. It was the biggest burp I had ever heard about. As a gas, a cloud of chocolatey gas, wafted from my mouth and drifted across the class. Past Lavender, past Alice, past Matilda. Then my big, great, beautiful, chocolatey burp, which now seemed to have a mind of its own, wafted full into the face of the Trunchbull.
Bruce Bogtrotter.
Yes, miss?
You liked my cake, didn't you, Bruce?
Oh, well, yes, Miss Trunchbull. I'm very, very...
Wonderful, 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 marvelous. It just makes me so happy. Oh, cook. What's the matter, Bogtrotter? Lost your appetite?
Oh, well, yes. I am full.
Oh, no, you are not full. I'll tell you when you are full. I say that criminals like you are not full until they have eaten the entire cake.
But I can't eat it all.
Is Mistress Hilby sick?
He should have thought of that before he made a pact with Satan and decided to steal my cake.
He can't.
Eat!
He can't.
Eat!
He might explode.
Eat!
Bruce, no matter what the subject he will use, when your man's convinced, should call a truce. Bruce, just wanna let you completely contradict. We never thought it was possible, but here it is coming true. We can have our cake and eat it.
Go on, Brucey. Yes, yes.
Well done, Bogtrotter. Good show. Well, come along, Bogtrotter.
What? Where?
Oh, did I not mention that was only the first part of your punishment? There's more. The second part. And the second part is turkey.
No, Miss Trunchbull, please, you can't.
Yes, Miss Trunchbull, please, can you? Do you think I would allow myself to be defeated by these maggots? Do you? Who do you think I am, Miss Honey? A weakling? An idiot? A fool?
I did. I ate a lot. No, please, no, don't do this, please, no.
That's not right.
Matilda, how lovely to see you. Are you enjoying school?
Oh, yes. Mrs. Phelps, where's the revenge section?
What? Well, we don't have a revenge section.
You want to hear the next part of my story?
Story? Did you say story? Did you say... Oh, Matilda, what are we waiting for?
And so, they prepared themselves for the most dangerous feat that had ever been performed. The brave escapologist had to escape from the cage, lean out, catch his wife with one hand, grab a fire extinguisher with the other, and to put out the flames on her specially designed vest within 12 seconds before they reached the dynamite and blew his wife's head off. Maybe it was the thought of their child. Maybe it was nerves. But the escapologist used just a touch too much foam, and suddenly the hands became slippy, and she fell. She broke every bone in her body except the ones at the ends of her little fingers. She did manage to live long enough to have the child, but the effort was too great. Oh,
our little girl, she said. Love our daughter with all your heart. She is all we ever wanted. And then she died. Then things got worse.
What? Worse? Oh no, Matilda, not worse. They can't get worse.
I'm afraid they did, because the escapologist was so kind that he never for 1 second blamed the evil sister for what happened. In fact, he asked her to move in and help look after his daughter. She was nothing but cruel to the little girl, making her wash, iron, cook, and clean, and beating her if she did a thing wrong, but always in secret, so that the escapologist never suspected a thing. And so, the poor little girl grew up with the meanest, cruelest, horriblest aunt you could possibly imagine!
Let's call the police.
Mrs. Phelps, it's just a story.
What? Oh, yes, right, of course. Matilda, you are so smart. Your parents must think they've won the lottery having a child like you.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they do. I'd better go.
I'm so clever, I'm so clever, I'm so very, very, very clever. I'm so very flaming clever. What a very clever fellow I am. Everyone gather around. I want my family to share in my triumph. Not you, boy.
I'm a girl.
155 old bangers on my hands. How could I possibly make the mileage go back? I couldn't very well drive each one backwards, could I?
Backwards?
When suddenly, I had the most genius idea in the world. I grabbed a drill, and using my incredible mind, I attached the drill to the speedometer of the first car, turned it on, and whacked into reverse.
Backwards!
Exactly! And within a few minutes, I had reduced the mileage to practically nothing.
Backwards!
And 10 minutes later, the Russians show up. Expensive suits, tall glasses.
Russians are nocturnal! I saw it on a program last night.
That was badgers. It was a program about badgers.
Same thing. And did it work? Fantastic!
You've cheated them. They trusted you and you've cheated them.
What is the matter with you? What have we done to deserve a child like you?
You know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to go down to that library and tell that old baggy never to be let in again.
What? Please don't.
And if she does, I will have her fired. And you will never read another stinking book as long as you live. I will put an end to your stories, young man. Now get in there and stay in there. Nasty little creep.
That night, the escapologist's daughter cried herself to sleep, alone in her room. She beat her, threw her in a dank, dark, dusty cellar, locked the door, and went out. But that day, the escapologist happened to come home early, and when he heard the tears of his daughter, he smashed the door open. Have I been so wrapped up in my grief for my wife that I have forgotten the one thing that matters to us most?
I love you so much.
I love you so much, my daughter. I shall spend the rest of my life making it up to you. But when the little girl fell asleep, the escapologist's thoughts turned to the acrobat's sister, and an almighty rage grew inside his great heart. But that was the last the little girl ever saw her daughter, because he never came home again.
Discipline, discipline for children who are listening, for midget who are fidgeting or whispering in history. They're chattering, they're chittering, they're nattering and twittering is tempered with a smattering of discipline. We must begin insisting on rigidity and discipline, persistently resisting this anarchistic mischieving. The midgets who are fittering are pondering and pittering, while little ones like this they just want to spit. The simpering, the whimpering, the dribbling, the spitting, the issue. It's an issue we think. There is no mastering the art of classroom mistering. It's discipline, discipline. The smell of rebellion, the stench of revolt, the reek of rebellious and plotting, the way for resistance, the pong of dissent, the funk of moral fiber rotting. Imagine a world without children. Close your eyes and just dream. Imagine, right, the peace and the quiet, a bubbling stream. Now imagine a woods with a cottage, and inside this cottage we find a dwarf called Zeke, a carnival freak who can fold paper hats with his mind, and he says, don't let them steal your horses, don't let them throw them away, no, 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 if you find it, they'll be waiting for you. Yay! Yay! Aha! And there, just like I said, the stinking maggot rears his head. Even the squiddiest, prettiestness can harbor seeds of stinkiness. Have you ever seen anything more repellent? Have you ever smelt anything worse than the smell of rebellion? The stench of revolt, the reek of insubordination, the whiff of resistance, the pong of dissent. And I will not stop till you are squashed, till this rebellion is squashed, till glorious sweaty discipline has squashed the sickening scent. Away!
Hello, I'm Lavender, by the way. Matilda's best friend. There's a bit coming up that's all about me. Well, not exactly about me, but I play a big part in it. But I'm not going to say what happens because I don't want to spoil it for you. Alright, look, what I do is I volunteer to get the Trunchbull a jug of water. And then, no, I don't want to tell you anymore because I don't want to ruin it. Well, on the way back, I find a newt. And a newt is a really ugly lizard that lives in the water. So I pick it up, and no, I'm not saying any more. I'm going to put the newt in the Trunchbull's jug. It's going to be brilliant.
Quiet!
I don't think this is teaching at all. I think it's just cruelty.
That is because you, Miss Honey, are pathetic. You are wet. You are weak. You are, in fact, a sniveling little newt. There's a newt inside. You! You did this, you vile, repulsive, manipulative little sinner!
Leave her alone, you big, fat bully!
Oh, how dare you! You are not fit to be in the school. You ought to be in a prison. The deepest, dankest, and darkest prison. I shall have you wheeled out on a trolley with a muzzle over your mouth. And I shall crush you. I shall pound you. All of the disgusting little slugs shall suffer the most appalling indigence because of you.
Have you ever wondered what I have about how when I say red? For example, there's no way of knowing if red means the same thing in your head as red means in my head. When someone says red, tell if we are traveling at almost the speed of light. and we're holding a light, but light would still travel away from us. At the full speed of light, which seems right in a way that I'm trying to say. I'm not sure, but I wonder if inside my head, not just to be different from some of my friends. These answers that come into my mind unwritten, these stories delivered to me fully written, and everyone shouts like they seem to like shouting. The noise in my head is incredibly loud. I just wish they stopped my dad, my mum, and the telly, and the stories would stop for just once. And I'm sorry, I'm not quite explaining it right, but the noise becomes anger, and the anger is light, and the burning inside me would usually fade, but it isn't today. And the heat and the shouting, and my heart is pounding, and my eyes are burning, and suddenly everything is quiet. Like silence, but not really silent. Just that still sort of quiet. Like the sound of a page being turned in a book, or a pause in a walk in the woods. Quiet. Like silence, but not really silent. Just that nice kind of quiet. Like the sound when you lie upside down in your bed. Just the sound of your heart in your head. And there are the people around me, their mouths are still moving. The words they are forming cannot reach me anymore. And it is quiet, and I am warm. Like I have sailed into the eye of the storm.
Are you poor?
Yes. Yes, I am. Very.
Don't they pay teachers very well?
No, they don't actually, but I'm poorer than most because of other reasons.
But, Miss Honey, you can't just live in a shed.
I'm not strong like you, Matilda. You see, my father died when I was young. Magnus was his name. He was very kind, but when he was gone, my aunt became my legal guardian. She was mean and cruel and horrible. You can hardly imagine. All I know is that years of being bullied by that woman have made me pathetic. I was trapped.
And that's why you live here.
On these walls I hang wonderful pictures. Through this window I can watch the seasons change. By this lamp I can read. And I am set free. And when it's cold outside, I feel no fear. Even through the winter storms, I am warmed by a small but stubborn fire. And there is nowhere I would rather be. It isn't much, but it is enough for me. It isn't much, but it is enough for me. For this is my house. This is my house. It isn't much, but it is enough for me. For this is my house. This is my house. It isn't much, but it is enough. And when it's cold and bleak, I feel no fear. Even the fiercest storms, I am warmed by a small but stubborn fire. Even when outside it's freezing, I don't pay much heed. I know that everything I need is in here. It isn't much, but it is enough for me. It isn't much, but it is enough for me.
This class is going to have a very special spelling test, and any child who gets one single answer wrong shall go to Chokey. You spell, now let me see, spell newt.
Newt. N-E-W-T. Newt. Miss Honeytire. She's very good at teaching.
Nonsense! Miss Honey is far too sharp to be good at anything. You turn around and spell the one thing that you all are. Revolting.
Revolting. R-E-V-O-L-T-I-N-G. Revolting.
You're cheating!
Of course she's not cheating. She's simply spelling a word.
These little specks of dust can't be this clever. They are worms.
I taught them. That's all. With kindness and patience and respect.
How dare you bring such words into my classroom, madam? You know nothing of teaching, and I shall prove it. You, fifth box, not noses. Spell Amicella Commonil Spectinosis Timosis.
What? That's not a word. You just made it up.
Spell or go to Chokey. And let me warn you, there are silent letters.
A-M-C-H-E-L-L-A.
Oh dear. Oh dearie, dear. Oh no, I'm so sorry. There was a silent C. You're going to Chokey.
Cat. C-A-F. Cat. I got it wrong, miss. You have to put me in the chokey too.
Dog. D-Y-P dog. And me.
X-A-B-F-Y. And me.
What are you doing? What is going on? Stop this.
You can't put us all in chokey. Banana. G-T-A-A-B-L.
Bully. P-Y-T-L-F-D-R-V-W-S.
You see, rabbits, in this world, there are two types of human beings. The winners and the losers. And I...
The chalk. Look, the chalk.
What?
It's moving. It's writing something.
What? What the devil? Who? Who?
No one's doing anything.
Agatha. This is madness. Give my Jenny back her house.
Then leave, or I will get you like you got me. Run. Run. Run.
Whoa!
be a little bit naughty. Never again will the joke get those laughs. Never again will I be bullied. Never again will I doubt it when my mommy says I'm a miracle. Never again will we live behind bars. Never again will we know we are revolting children living in revolting times. We sing revolting songs using revolting rhymes. We'll be revolting children till our revolting's done, and we'll have a Trunchbull revolting where revolting are. We are revolting children living in revolting times. We sing revolting songs using revolting rhymes. We'll be revolting children till our revolting's done, and we'll have a Trunchbull revolting where revolting will become a screaming horde.
Take out your hockey stick and use it as a sword. Never again will we be ignored. We'll find out where the chalk is stored and draw with pictures on the board. It's not insulting. We're revolting.
A few days later, the acrobat and the escapologist's daughter received a letter from a solicitor. It said that her parents' will had mysteriously turned up, and she was now the owner of a beautiful old house, which had, up until that moment, been owned by the evil aunt, one Agatha Trunchbull.
And as for Miss Trunchbull, she was never seen again, and the trophies were immediately destroyed, and a new headmistress took over. And as for Miss Trunchbull, she was never seen again, and the trophies were immediately destroyed, and a new headmistress took over.
And her name was Miss Honey. And it was often said that it was the best school in all the land.
And do you know something else? Matilda was never again able to move things with her eyes. The little girl who had done so much to help others but was stuck with parents who were mean and cruel and called her names. I would just wish that I could do something.
So, this is the end. And I wish so much that I could tell you that the story has a happy ending. I wish so much that I could tell you that Matilda got the love she deserved. But perhaps the truth is, not all stories have happy endings.
We're going to Spain!
Spain? But why? Because this idiot, this nit, this twit brain seemed to think it was a good idea to sell 155 old bangers to the Russian mafia.
Oh, come on, boy. We're leaving forever and we're never coming back.
No, Matilda, stay here. I would love to take Matilda if she would like to stay with me, that is. But would you like that, Matilda?
Do you want to stay here with Miss Honey?
Yes, I do.
Well, we are a bit short of room, so yes.
Thank you.
They hardly noticed as the Wormwood sped away into the distance.
Because they had found each other.
Yes, they had found each other.